I hit the garage pretty early. He started tearing the front end apart here. You can see him trying to get that snap ring out of the driver's side hub. Pulled the brakes off of it. They came off relatively easy. He got that snap ring out pretty good. And now, he's going to try and get that bearing off of there. But the one thing that he forgot to do was take the bolts off of it. So, found out we had some bad ball joints and we needed to do that inner U-joint anyway, so popped her all apart. We're gonna get the kit. I know that one internet website, you can buy everything from there. But we're gonna see if one of KJ's buddies can beat that pricing. That's my foot, thanks. Scarfed that bottom a little bit whenever I burnt the nut off of it, but I'll fix that with a little bit of weld, no problem there. And got to get the U-joints out of the spindle yet, get everything cleaned up, get it all ready to go back together. So one side done, one side to go. Just back from town, we bought a whole bunch of parts. KJ's gonna go through that stuff and figure it all out. Why, hello there, how are you? Hey, so yeah, KJ, we got this side all tore apart. What I'm going to do now is we're going to get in here, clean it all up, get it ready to prime. We don't have all the parts that we need yet to put it all back together, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and get it cleaned up, and we'll go from there. So watch, learn, listen, like, comment, subscribe, all that crazy stuff. All right, let's get at it. As you can hear, that needle scaler makes quite a bit of noise. That's why I always wear the ear protection while we're using it. Went ahead and pulled the shocks off the front axle. They were pretty rusty, but they were still pretty good. I had to get them out of the way so I could get that lower shock mount cleaned up. That bottom bolt gave me some problems coming out. The flag nut is actually captured inside of there, and I couldn't get it out. It was just bouncing around, but I was able to hold on to it with that wrench, and then we did eventually get it out of there. And got as much dust as we could, and I'll turn the needle scaler to this, get the grinder out to it, clean everything up with the wire wheel there. I did have to fix that little gouge that I put in the bottom ball joint boss there. So we went ahead and cleaned it all up, and then we'll get the welder out and actually tack some weld in there and clean it all up again. Here you can see I'm actually laying a couple tacks in there, stacking some tacks in where I had gouged the steel out of there. It's not a structural member so much, just a little bit that I took out. More or less put it back in there so that the nut would have something to rest against for that bottom ball joint. I did have to clean the inside of the bore up a little bit, as some of the weld did pull over into the hole. But that was pretty quick fix with the rotary deburring tool there on the end of the fuel Milwaukee. Got the rat tail out just to finish it up and keep everything in line. So then went ahead and cleaned it up with some brake clean. I prefer the black cans from Advance. It completely goes away whenever it evaporates, doesn't leave any residue behind, and then put some Rust-Oleum etching primer on it. That's my preferred primer. Yeah, hit the spindle. Now smack either there, yeah, hit it there one time. Oh boy, hit the tie rod itself. Not there, on the side. Try to Again. Kenny went ahead and got the passenger side apart too, so you'll see some pieces of that. I turned my attention to getting the U-joints out of the U-joints to get the ball joints out of the knuckle assembly. For some reason, I was using that hammer sideways trying to get that snap ring busted loose there. But we did get the snap ring busted loose and eventually got it off of there. This is my OTC ball joint press. I don't have the big one. My press just has, I think, 3 sleeves and 2 collars. But I've used that press quite extensively over the years. Couldn't get that bottom ball joint to move, but I smacked it a couple times with the hammer there and got it to move. Started to move when the press took it out the rest of the way. Had to finish it though. There wasn't enough room in the sleeve to get it to push out all the way with the jack screw. So I did have to get in there with a chisel and hammer and finish the job. And there I am showing it off. See, got it out. Turn our attention to the top one. It actually come out pretty easy. I smacked the knuckle there. Is actually what you can see I'm doing, smacking that knuckle, just giving it a shock load. It seems to help whenever you're pushing them old ball joints out. So with everything out of the knuckle, I went ahead and hit it with the needle scaler. Then after the needle scaler, I hit it with the grinder. Blew everything off, did the same thing I did with the other one. I prefer using my little Bauer grinder with a cup wire wheel on it. It doesn't really have enough power to hurt you bad. I mean, it'll still hurt you, but it won't hurt you bad. This is the driver's side versus the passenger side spindle, a knuckle. You can see that the one knuckle hadn't been cleaned yet and the one was cleaned. So we'll start right here at the bench. This is the passenger side knuckle. KJ got it out there last thing that he did, and then he cleaned everything up. So I'm gonna have to clean that up and get the ball joints out of it and put new ball joints in it. This is the driver's side axle. I'm gonna have to replace that U-joint. It is just a little on the bad side. What do you think? Yeah, so we'll replace that. Get that axle shaft cleaned up and get it ready to go back in. And over here at the truck, you can see here I just got done painting the driver's side the driver's side knuckle assembly. Cleaned it all up. It does have new upper and lower ball joints in it already. The axle itself has been cleaned up and primed. Using an etching primer, we spoke to a guy that does all the paint mixing for the local Napa in Washington. And he says that the epoxy primer is not what it used to be. So knowing that, I went ahead and just used some self-etching primer there. That's just, it's actually Rust-Oleum self-etching primer. Haven't decided yet if we're gonna reuse this bucket or not. I did clean up the top of it a little bit just to see what kind of condition it was in. I mean, it's not terrible. It is cleaning up okay, so we'll see what happens there. And then you can see all the steering linkage. The tie rod was removed, but the drag link is still there. And then on this side, I haven't been able to get over here to clean it up yet, but KJ does have it all apart. Looks pretty good. This side did come apart pretty nice. I think I'm gonna replace those bolts. I have some bolts here that I like to use for these. It looks like they did put some weld on them whenever they replaced it. But I have, I use flanged bolts for those and red Loctite. That will never come out. So I probably will just replace those. And if I'm into there, you know, that way we'll get all that cleaned up as well. Not sure what they did on the bottom there. The bolts there, looks like it's the same thing. Yeah, same old same. So yeah, that's that. Got to clean this side up, get it painted, and then we can start putting it back together. Nobody had the seals. There's big vacuum seals in those hubs to facilitate the auto hub. I don't believe either of these were auto hubs, but still, they need that seal in there to keep the dust out. Yeah, so I did a little bit more work on the frame, but not much. KJ did sell the bed off of this truck today, and I believe he has the bed sold off the Green Goblin already. We'll probably be taking it off on Monday. And if that's the case, maybe we'll just pop the bed off of his silver truck and put it on the Green Goblin. So this will have to go back outside. I'll have to figure out a way to keep that axle hung in there, because the only thing that's holding it in there now is the radius arms. Of course, you can see we got the springs out of it. Well, radius arms and the pannered rod, that's holding it in there too. That big heavy duty rod right there. But other than that, it's been a successful day in the garage. Got everything off, got everything cleaned up. And there you go. Henry 4 is coming along nicely. We'll be bolting things back together here shortly. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out here at Mongo's Garage with us this Saturday. We're all going to go get ready for church and head off that direction here now. It is the Saturday before Easter, so thanks for stopping by and visiting with us today. Hope you come back, and look forward to keeping you up to date on the projects. All right, Mongo Man out. Take care, guys. Happy Easter.